Mike War Story, Part 1. The air been feeling heavy lately, not like weather, not like rain, I mean so heavy, like something big just snapped in the universe, and we all heard it, even if we ain't got the words for it yet. That's when I knew it was time for Uncle Mike to speak on it. This ain't about rap right now, not about mics or beats. This here is about war. And I ain't talking about no street beef or label drama. I'm talking about nations moving pieces on a chessboard so big, most folks never even know the game started until their screen light up with headlines. And what just happened? Man, it wasn't no headline. It was a warning shot from the gods. They say the US just launched the cleanest, quietest, and most dangerous strike on Iran that this planet has ever seen. We talking about B-2 stealth bombers, 15, maybe 20 of them, moving like ghosts in the sky. No sound, no radar, no warning, just precision. And then, boom, Fordow, Natanz, Isfahan. These ain't just cities, they're the backbone of Iran's nuclear development. These facilities buried under layers of concrete and rock, hidden deep beneath the skin of the earth. The kind of places they swore couldn't be touched. Untouchable, too deep, too secure. But the US wasn't sending no regular message. They dropped what's called a 𝗟𝗢𝗡𝗞𝗦, bunker busters for the uninitiated. Imagine a bomb that ain't made to explode on the surface. Nah, this monster drills down 60, 80, even 200 feet into the dirt. Then it blows. That's a message wrapped in fire. This wasn't no scare tactic. This was strategic annihilation. But it wasn't loud. It was surgical. See, that's how the world works now. They don't yell war no more. They whisper it, then pull the trigger before you even realize you're in the line of fire. And most of us, we scrolling TikTok while governments trade fire under the moon. Now ask yourself, why now? Why hit Iran like that? And why so quiet? What don't they want you to know? Trump came out smiling, talking about a spectacular success. Netanyahu from Israel calling it historic. But behind the smiles, behind those camera lights, there's a pressure cooker hissing, cause Iran ain't built like victims. They built like wolves. And wolves, they don't bark, they bite. This ain't over. This just the first tremor. The ground's still moving under our feet, even if your timeline ain't caught up yet. But me, Uncle Mike, I'm tuned in, and I see the pattern. I feel the shift. Something is coming. Bigger than music, bigger than views, bigger than us all. And you better believe, Part 2, about to go deeper. Stay woke, stay ready. Uncle Mike out. Until next time. The first shots might have come from the sky, but the real war is being fought in the mind. Yeah, I said it. This ain't just bombs and boots on the ground. It's a psychological takeover, and the average person don't even see it. You think you got free thought? Try posting against the war machine and watch your reach vanish. You think you got freedom? Then why everybody scared to speak their truth out loud? Let's talk motives. Now, I told y'all last time, wars don't start overnight, and they damn sure don't start because of one argument. This war, it been cooking, and the recipe ain't no secret. Money. Trillions move when nations go to war. Defense contracts, weapon shipments, oil, reconstruction. Control. Governments tighten up. Citizens lose rights in the name of safety. Narrative. Media becomes a mouthpiece. Support the troops becomes don't ask questions. Distraction. While we watching missiles fly, what laws getting passed behind our backs? You ever notice how gas prices spike, then magically normalize after they squeeze everybody dry? You ever see how fear makes people accept things they never accept in peacetime? This ain't just politics, this is chess. And the only people getting knocked off the board are the ones who don't even know they're in the game. The allies ain't all friends. Now peep this. You ever had a friend in the hood who only roll with you when you winning? That's what these alliances are. Every country smiling in front of the cameras, but behind closed doors, they watching, plotting, waiting. Some of them owe us money. Others hate us quietly. Some just scared to say what they really think out loud. And now that war is on the floor, everybody gotta pick a side. But don't get it twisted. Some of them ain't siding with us. They siding for themselves. The people who profit while you panic. Let's name names. Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Boeing. These companies don't lose when war breaks out. They celebrate. Stocks go up. Contracts get signed. And while your cousin in uniform is out there dodging bullets, some executive in a suit just bought a third yacht. Meanwhile, schools get less funding, food prices go dumb, and cities collapse from the inside, and the healthcare still got people paying $600 just to get an asthma pump. You starting to see the pattern? Uncle Mike's message to the people: look, I'm not here to make you scared. I'm not trying to turn you into a conspiracy theorist. I'm here to help you think, to slow the video down, hit pause, and watch the play develop. Because this moment in time, it ain't no rerun. This is live, unfiltered, and you got to decide what role you gonna play. You gonna be a pawn or a player? You gonna let them feed your kids fear, or are you gonna feed your fam facts? Because this system, it only works when you don't ask questions. In part 4, this one go deep, like basement truth in a boarded up house. Let's ride. You ever wonder why, in the middle of a war, you still getting commercials for soda? Why the timeline's still filled with TikTok dances, challenges, and cats that look like Drake? That ain't by accident. That's media warfare. A war for your attention. See, when tanks roll through borders and jets rip through the clouds, the first target is never just soldiers. It's you, your mind, your perception, your timeline. It's why every headline sounds the same. Why every breaking news story, Loki, feel like a rerun. Because they don't want you thinking. They want you reacting, distracted, divided, emotionally drained. And while you scroll, argue, repost, and cry, they cashing checks, signing contracts, and writing laws in the background. Let's talk about the hood. Now here's the part they never tell you. You think wars only affect the people overseas? Nah, it touches us too, and it touches fast. Food stamps get reduced, rent go up, utilities spike, young dudes in your city start vanishing again. Not to war zones, but to prison, because they need bodies in that system. When the government needs money for bullets, it don't come out of thin air. It come from after-school programs, music grants, public libraries, neighborhood clinics. They gut the roots of our communities while saying it's for democracy. But ain't nothing democratic about a hungry baby and a mom who gotta skip meds to pay rent. Media ain't telling you that they not showing you the grocery lines in your own city. They not showing you the teacher who can't afford housing. They not showing you the broken promise of the GI Bill to vets who came home with more PTSD than opportunity. Because that don't sell ads, that don't get likes, that don't go viral. What does go viral? Fear, fake pride, and narratives that make you pick sides in a war where you're not even invited to the table. Uncle Mike's warning. This is the part y'all need to tattoo on your memory. If you can't control the narrative, they will control you. You ever ask yourself why there's 24/7 coverage of the war, but no coverage of the water crisis in your town? You ever notice how rappers get blasted for lyrics, but politicians don't get blasted for bombing children? It's cause the truth ain't trending, but manipulation is. And if you ain't grounded, if you ain't paying attention, you'll start thinking like them, fearing what they fear, hating who they tell you to hate. That's how war wins, without ever touching your block. So what do we do? That's the million-dollar question. And in part 5, I'ma walk you through the answers. Not the corny ones, not the Twitter ones, the real ones. We'll talk survival, mental armor, and how hip-hop, our culture, might be the last real weapon of resistance. Because rap is truth when the news is lying, and Uncle Mike always gonna tell it raw. Part 5. Yeah, we bringing back the Red God. You thought that was fiction? Nah, that's prophecy in a hoodie. When the Red God walked in, picture it. The streets quiet, too quiet. Not peace, pressure. Like the city knows something is coming. Birds not even flying right. And then, out the mist, he show up. Red hoodie, face shadowed, one mic hanging from his neck like a noose cut loose. They call him the Red God. Not cause he divine, but cause when the system catch fire, he the one who lit the match. Who is he? He ain't no rapper, but his bars break chains. He ain't no preacher, but his sermons shake foundations. He ain't no soldier, but when he show up, governments start glitching. Satellites spin off axis. Truth leak like cracked pipes. The red guy don't speak much, but when he do, it's judgment. And right now, oh, he got something to say. I told y'all this was coming. Y'all thought this was about borders? Nah, this war been about souls. Not land, not oil, not freedom, but your mind, your music, your future. They sterilized your spirit while you were distracted with streams and memes. He paused, then raised that mic like a sword, the cord dragging through the ash and blood of history. And from his mouth came words that felt ancient and futuristic at the same time. They replaced your drums with drones, your anthems with algorithms, your love songs with lies. The battle ain't just over there, it's here. Let's break it down. While tanks rolling through foreign cities, guess what's rolling through ours? Surveillance drones, these misinformation ads, fake protests to draw real bullets. Bills disguised as safety that lock up voices before they become leaders. They don't just want the land overseas, they want the language in your mouth, the rhythm in your walk, the fire in your art. That's why they silence rappers but praise war generals. They afraid of the red guy because he reminds folks how powerful one voice can be. The red guy's mission, he ain't here to save us, he here to wake us up, to remind you, your music is weaponry, your knowledge is armor, your community is the front line. This war ain't about nukes, it's about narrative. And whoever controls the story, controls the soul. Uncle Mike's challenge to you, let the red guy speak through you now. You the one with the mic, the beat, the platform. You gonna rap for clout or you gonna rap for truth? You gonna chase streams or start revolutions? Because as this war unfolds, every artist, every creator, every thinker becomes a soldier.
Part 6, the algorithm war. They warned us with bombs. They warned us with boots. But the real invasion, it started in your pocket, in your hand, right now, on this screen. Welcome to the algorithm war, where bullets are replaced by buttons and likes. They ain't love, they surveillance. Your feed is a weapon. Let me break this down for you. You ever wonder why a rapper exposing corruption gets 12 views, but a TikTok dance about nothing hits 12 million? That's not coincidence, that's control. Your feed ain't random, it's engineered. Every scroll, every swipe, every delay, they studying you, feeding you, funneling your soul into silence. And while the world's realest artists scream into the void got rules. Rules written by people who don't look like you, don't love like you, don't bleed like you. Digital censorship is the new handcuff. They ain't gotta lock you up when they can ghost you, shadow ban you, demonetize your message, flag your truth as unsafe. Meanwhile, lies get sponsored, facts get flagged, reality gets remixed until you can't tell if you dreaming or drowning. This content goes against our guidelines. Nah, it go against their grip. The red dot ain't just for snipers anymore. See that red dot? Used to mean somebody got a scope on you. Now, it's a notification, a target made out of your data. Every agree to terms you click is a digital fingerprint. They tracking the rebel in you. So that time you typed, why is the US really at war? Yeah, that got logged, that got noted. That's why the red guy stays off grid. He know what's up. The digital front line, your platform. Let's be real. Instagram ain't neutral, YouTube ain't fair. Facebook been sold out since your auntie's first birthday post. They ain't pushing truth, they pushing compliance. That's why Uncle Mike stay talking loud. That's why this war story ain't just bars. It's battle cries wrapped in rhythm. Speak loud, post raw, be shadow banned with pride. Cause when they silence you, that means they scared of you. How the red god plays the algorithm. The red god don't chase trends, he hijack them. He drop truth in the middle of memes, he lace bars inside beats they can't ignore. That's your blueprint. Don't wait for permission. Don't ask to go viral. Be so undeniable, they gotta shut you down to stop you. Uncle Mike's final word for now. This ain't paranoia, it's proof. And you living in the timeline where your phone is a leash and your silence is expected. But here's the twist. They forgot one thing.
Rappers don't shut up. We rhyme, we resist, we resurrect truth through rhythm. It's quiet in the neighborhoods, but don't get it twisted. That silence ain't peace, it's pressure. In every barbershop, every corner store, every cracked sidewalk in the hood, the whispers are getting louder. People ain't just scrolling no more, they noticing. And the moment they connect the dots between what's happening overseas and what's happening right here at home, that's when the war shifts. From streams to street heat. Let me show you how it moves. You watch a live stream from Gaza, you hear tanks roll through Ukraine, then you step outside and notice your own city got checkpoints now, cameras on every block, police drones flying like pigeons. This ain't just global. This hit different when it's at your door. The streams you watch for awareness, they training your mind to normalize militarization. Every time you scroll past a burning building without stopping to think, that's them winning. The youth feel it first, teenagers know. That's why they making drill songs about things they ain't even lived yet. They feel the weight of poverty, paranoia, pressure to perform. This generation got trauma without even having war scars. They born into survival mode. And now the global war energy, it just added fuel to that fire. You got 15-year-olds rapping about drone strikes like it's just another beat. Because to them, it's all the same chaos. Seas are uprising. But yo, every war got a rebel. And in every city, you got one spark ready to flip the whole script. That kid with a $20 mic and a SoundCloud dream might be the voice of this whole movement. That girl with 300 TikTok followers and a cracked iPhone might post the truth that wakes up a nation. Seeds, bruh, planted in pain, grown in oppression, blooming in rhythm, and every stream that tries to silence them becomes fertilizer for the fire that's coming. Uncle Mike on the front lines. I've been out here, I've seen the change, I felt the shift in the air. When a rapper steps on stage now, it's not just entertainment, it's therapy, it's testimony, it's rebellion dressed in 16 bars. And that's why they watching us. That's why the algorithm got my name on a list. That's why your ad get denied, but their bombs get primetime coverage. This ain't about who wins the war, it's about who owns the narrative. And we taking it back, one verse at a time. The energy heist in the invisible chain. Listen close, cause part 9 we diving straight into the shadows. This war, it ain't just about borders, bombs, or billion-dollar weapons. It's about power, and I ain't talking about what runs your lights. I'm talking about the energy inside you. They out here robbing people's spirit and calling it business. Let me break it down. The energy heist. Every time you feel drained scrolling through chaos, every time you get pulled into fear, anger, confusion, that's not by accident. That's an energy extraction. See, Uncle Mike done studied it. They call it attention economics in them high towers. But on the streets, it's emotional trafficking. They broadcast despair 24/7. Wars, celebrity drama, race baiting, false flags. Not just to inform you, but to farm you. They feeding off your clicks, your rage, your hopelessness. The hidden chain. While you stuck refreshing updates, guess what they refreshing? Stock portfolios. They say stay informed, but really they mean stay afraid. Keep your heart locked. Keep your soul tired. Keep your music silent. Because an artist who's aware, that's a threat. A rapper with real bars and clarity, that's a leader. So they try to drown you in digital noise. They don't got to change your body no more. They just got to distract your purpose. They testing weapons on you. You heard of energy weapons? I ain't talking science fiction. I'm talking about TikToks that trigger anxiety. Ads that push you to spend money you don't got. News loops that train your brain to feel small. That's psychological warfare. They beta tested it in small countries. Now it's mainstream in the West. Want to know why so many youth depressed for no reason? Because their joy is being farmed. Their dreams turn into dopamine traps. The underground resistance is real. But here's the good news. There's a whole network of us that ain't falling for it no more. DJs who play truth over trends. Artists who put healing in every bar. Platforms like ours. Yeah, the one they tried to shut down. That say upload your truth, not just your song. We the rebels.
We the signal they can't jam. We the heartbeat they can't code. Uncle Mike's final word for now. They building systems to track your movement, but they can't trace your vibration. They can't mute a generation that's wide awake. So protect your energy like it's gold, because that's the currency of this war. Don't let them steal your light. Your bars matter. Your story matters. And your presence, that's a weapon more powerful than any nuke.
Part 10, the AI prophets and the deepfake deception. You thought the war was outside your window? Nah, fam. This one's happening inside your screen. We in a new era now, the age of the clone. And not just your voice, not just your face, but your identity. Let Uncle Mike break it down. The rise of the AI prophets. It started with chatbots. Then it was filters, voice changers, avatars. Now they got digital puppets preaching to the masses, looking like real people, but speaking like the algorithm's chosen ones. These ain't real prophets, these ain't real teachers. They just predictable pixels programmed to keep you in check. Talking about healing, but selling distraction. Preaching peace while never addressing pain. Reading scripts crafted by data miners, not from lived truth. They speaking smooth, but if you listen real close, they ain't saying nothing. The deepfake deception. You see that viral clip of a rapper saying something wild? You sure that was him? You sure that speech by that politician really happened? You sure that tear rolling down that actor's cheek wasn't animated frame by frame? Because right now, in real time, they faking reality better than reality itself. And here's the kicker. They training AI using your data, your voice, your old posts, your photos from 2013. You out here ghostwriting your own clone without knowing it. Now ask yourself, if they can copy you, can they cancel you? Rewriting the history books live. This war ain't about missiles, it's about memory. They erasing old truths from the net, changing headlines from 10 years ago, removing videos that tell too much. If you ain't screen recording and archiving, you ain't ready for this digital battlefield. They say never forget, but if AI curates the past, you'll only remember what they approve. And that's the scariest weapon of all, the erasure of real story. So what do? You fight fire with frequency. Start documenting your own truth. Use your real voice, raw footage, unfiltered thoughts. Don't let AI become your historian. Don't let their fake rappers spit over your legacy. Because when the bots rap about pain, they don't mean it. When Uncle Mike talk about it, he felt it. Final word for this part. In this chapter of the war, truth is a glitch in the system. And if you speak it, they'll try to flag you, silence you, or worse, replace you. So keep spitting truth, keep showing face, keep uploading your version of reality. Because soon, the only real thing left online will be the one that refused to be edited. Uncle Mike War Story, Part 11. Part 11, the quiet silencing. They used to silence you with handcuffs. Now they do it with algorithms, no court date, no warning, just shadow banned, demonetized, and muted. This the digital chokehold, and it's squeezing tighter every time you speak truth. Let Uncle Mike walk you through this new battlefield. The new age gag order. You ever post something real and it got 0 views? You thought maybe the timing was bad, right? Maybe your followers just missed it? Nah, bruh, it was seen and hidden. See? They got AI filters now that scan for problematic energy, not just words, but tone, not just hashtags, but vibes. Say the wrong thing, they bury you 6 feet deep in the algorithm. No funeral, no notice, no goodbye. They won't delete your video. They'll just make sure nobody sees it. Demonetized, dehumanized. If you speak out and you monetize your platform, they hit you where it hurts. The pockets. They strip the ads, kill the reach, silence the cash flow, because in this war, money is your might. And once they unplug you, your voice gets quieter. See, they ain't afraid of you yelling. They just don't want people to hear you. The bot moderators in their hidden hand. You think it's Karen from customer service reviewing your post? Nah, it's a line of code. A robot with no soul, trained by corporate bias, policing your truth like it's a threat. Say something about war, you might be inciting violence. Mention a trafficking ring, you're spreading conspiracy. Expose a system that ain't right, now you violating community standards. But they'll let a half-naked dance go viral. They'll let a fake prank get 5 million views. Confuse the people, distract the people, silence the people. That's the playbook. Artists are the first targets. Creators are always the first to feel it. The poet, the rapper, the truth teller with rhythm. Because art bypasses logic, it hits the soul. And soul is dangerous in a controlled society. They want robotic artists now. Auto-tuned voices, AI-generated bars, pre-approved messages. But Uncle Mike don't rap from a prompt. I rap from pain, passion, and perspective. And that's why I'm flagged. But here's the truth. Even when they silence you, you still got options. You got your website, you got your own list, you got the underground airwaves still breathing. They can't stop what they can't track. So build outside their fences, drop gems on your live, record content offline, link with real ones, because the future belongs to the ones who kept going, even when the mic was off. Uncle Mike War Story. Part 12, The Digital Draft. You ever notice how the battlefield ain't got bullets no more? It's got scrolls, it's got swipes, it's got filters that alter your face, your thoughts, and your purpose. Welcome to the digital draft. They ain't pulling you off the block with handcuffs. They recruiting you through your phone. They ain't after your body. They want your mind. See, back in the day, Uncle Mike remembers when war was physical. You heard sirens, saw boots hit pavement. Now, the sirens are in your playlist. The boots are on your For You page. They targeting the young ones, teenagers, dreamers, future kings and queens, with a war that don't even look like war. It look like entertainment. It look like validation. It look like fun. But behind that fun, there's data mining, mind shaping, and soul swapping. The soldier is the influencer. Now, they don't need tanks. They got TikTokers. They don't need missiles. They got memes. They got these platforms training our people to crave applause over truth, likes over purpose, followers over real freedom. Young soldiers don't even know they enlisted. They think they just dancing, but they spreading what the algorithm wants. It's a uniform you can't see and a paycheck you can't cash because it bankrupts your identity. They give you a role, so you never find your purpose. The new draft tells you the bad baddie, you the tough gangster, you the rich flexer. But what if you're none of that? What if you a healer, a builder, a future leader? They don't want you finding that lane. They want you chasing persona, so you never unlock your power. It's the oldest trick in the book. You draft the next generation by controlling their options. Uncle Mike sees it. I see the boys who could be scientists turned into IG hustlers. I see the girls who could heal nations chasing plastic validation. And the real dangerous part, the ones doing it best, the realest ones, get shadow banned, get discouraged, get lost in the algorithm fog. So Uncle Mike is sounding the alarm. You ain't got to join that draft. You can opt out, you can unplug, you can create your own system, you can spit bars that mean something. You can build a brand that speaks truth and legacy. We need a different army. This ain't just a war of weapons, it's a war of narratives. And I'm looking for warriors who ain't afraid to rap different, act different, live different. I'm building my own unit. Rappers, creators, editors, speakers, thinkers, the kind who ain't scared to wake the crowd up. Because if the world is being drafted into digital slavery, I'm drafting the ones ready to fight for digital freedom. Uncle Mike War Story. Part 13, The Cancel Trap. They don't need a courtroom to end your career. They don't need a trial. They don't need no judge. All they need is a moment, a slip, a sentence, a clip with no context, and boom, you're gone. Welcome to the Cancel Trap, where one wrong move and they don't just shut you up. They erase you like you never existed. From trending to terminated, you ever see how fast they flip on you? Monday, that's my favorite artist. Tuesday, I'm disappointed in them. Wednesday, unfollowed, blocked, never again. They build you up with applause just so they can destroy you with tweets. And the wild part, you don't even have to be wrong. You just have to go against the script. The script ain't yours. You know what I'm talking about. There's a story they want told. And if your truth don't line up with their script, you're a threat, not a problem they talk to. A threat they silence. They'll demonetize you, demonize you, then let the wolves feast in the comments. And when you cry foul, they call you sensitive. Cancel culture ain't about accountability. Let's get this straight. Real accountability is about growth. It's about owning up and moving forward. But cancel culture, that's public execution with no chance of redemption. They don't want you to learn, they want you gone. And guess who they cancel the fastest? The ones from our community, the ones already climbing uphill with no rope. Uncle Mike's been watching. I've seen young creators get platforms just to have them snatched. I've seen old legends slip up and lose everything overnight. I've seen people weaponize pain for views, while the real ones stay silent. You ain't scared to speak. So I'm telling my soldiers, don't let them bait you into the trap. You don't gotta respond to every troll. You don't have to fight every comment. You don't owe the internet your peace. Build your own platform. Own your voice. That's why I created what I created. The rap platform ain't about perfection. It's about ownership, about truth, about making sure your mic don't get cut when your message gets real. You see, if you depend on their system, you'll always be a guest at their table. But when you build your own, you serve the meal. The red dot ain't a target, it's a warning. They mark people with that red dot like they in the scope. But with Uncle Mike, it's a beacon, a signal, a flare in the sky. I ain't scared to be next because I don't answer to their narrative. I answer to truth, to purpose, to the ones coming up behind me. Part 15, Digital Warfare and Mental Weapons. They ain't shooting bullets no more. They shooting stories. Headlines, virals, filters, timelines tailored to turn your thoughts into targets. The new frontline is in your feed. You wake up in the morning, grab your phone before your toothbrush. Boom. First thing you see, another war, another face, another tragedy, mixed with a dance challenge and a meme of a cat smoking a blunt. Confused yet? That's the point. They don't need to silence you if they can scramble your signal. They flood your mind with so much noise, you forget what's worth fighting for. Your mind is the battlefield. They weaponized emotions. They know exactly what makes you mad, what makes you scroll, what makes you doubt your own purpose. You think you depressed, but you just downloaded the wrong energy. Every argument you dive into, it's designed to drain you. The algorithm is the real op. It rewards the wild, punishes the wise. You post a prayer, 3 likes. You show a fight, 30,000 views. That's psychological warfare. They desensitize you with violence and pacify you with fake love. And the more you scroll, the more you shrink. You get so used to consuming, you forget how to create. Trauma as entertainment, turn on your TV. Scroll your Explore page, it's trauma on display. Pain is the product, and we've been programmed to crave it. Even when we say, this too much, we still click, still watch, still share. They made us addicted to our own suffering. And who profits? Not you. Music been used against us too. Let's talk hip hop, our culture. They use it to control us. The labels push pain, poison, and prison bars disguised as freedom. They fund the chaos and censor the consciousness. So now when you rap about ownership, unity, or healing, you invisible. But if you talk about killing your brother, billboard ready. Uncle Mike ain't gonna let it slide. This ain't just storytelling. This is survival training. You're in the middle of a digital jungle, and Uncle Mike is your guide. They can't win if we unplug. They can't dominate if we build. That's why the rap platform ain't no gimmick. It's a sanctuary. It's a headquarters. It's where you upload your truth and see who really rock with it. Take back your power. Turn that mic into a weapon of wisdom. Turn your story into strategy. Turn your pain into purpose. Live on stream. Don't wait for no label. Don't wait for no blue check. Don't wait for no savior. You are the message. They watching your every move, so make it count. Part 16, the currency of control. See, back in the day, they controlled you with chains. Now, they use followers, likes, views, digital crumbs on a table built by billionaires you'll never meet. And guess what? We fight each other to sit at the table instead of flipping it over. Fear is the new currency. They ain't taxing your money, they taxing your mind. Every headline dripping with fear, every breaking news alert is a psychological invoice. Fear sells, fear moves product, fear wins elections. But worst of all, fear keeps you still. It got you doubting your voice. It got you questioning your vision. It got you thinking you need permission to be great. Fame is the new cage. They dangle fame like bait. They tell you go viral, get rich. But what they don't tell you is the algorithm is a leash. Once it grabs you, you start performing for attention, not purpose. You ain't rapping your truth no more. You rapping what you think gon' trend. They got you chasing a dream they programmed you to have. Followers, X-face slaves to the system? Let's talk real. If you got 1 million followers, but you can't feed your fam without a label or brand deal, who really owns your platform? If you can't say what you want, post what you feel, or move how you move without fear of being shadow banned or demonetized, who really run your show? The truth? They turn creators into controlled assets. You used to build a brand, now you just maintaining a profile. Uncle Mike don't play that. See, I ain't here to be famous. I'm here to be free. And that's why the rap platform ain't like the rest. We ain't chasing trends, we creating legacies. We ain't begging for views, we earning respect. This ain't about going viral, it's about going real. If one person hears your bars and it changes their life, you already made it. How do you break free? You gotta stop renting your voice, start owning your message, start treating your story like gold, not gossip. Start surrounding yourself with people who see you, hear you, and invest in your growth, not just your image. That's what we building over here. That's why we dangerous, because we thinking different. And the system don't like thinkers, they like followers. Final thought from Uncle Mike. They'll sell you a dream to control your reality. But if you wake up, you can flip the whole script. And I'm right here with the pen in my hand and the mic lit red, writing the truth they scared to say. Uncle Mike War Story. In part 17, the red pill ain't enough. They hiding the whole toolbox. You ever feel like even when you wake up, you still stuck? Like you see the lies, you dodge the traps, but no matter what, the game still feels rigged? That's because it ain't just about taking the red pill no more. That's step one. But what they don't tell you is they got a whole damn toolbox hidden behind the curtain. Red pill? Cool. Now what? Everybody out here walking around woke now. You know who owns the banks. You know who controls the media. You done watched 100 documentaries about the elites. But guess what? Knowing the truth don't mean you got power. You can be fully awake and still broke. Still shadow banned. Still trapped in the same zip code with no options and no leverage. That's because truth is just knowledge, but tools, that's freedom. Where's the toolbox? The toolbox got the stuff they don't teach in school. How to build your own platform, how to control your data, how to monetize your skills without begging for permission, how to build community, not just followers, how to turn pain into purpose and trauma into currency. But they ain't handing out this toolbox. They got it locked behind paywalls, algorithms, gatekeepers, and six-figure mentorships. And if you ever get close, they flood you with distractions. Distraction is the real drug. They got you looking left when the play is on the right. They got you arguing over who wore what at the Grammys, while laws are being signed behind your back. They feed you beef, gossip, and trends. So you never build your own kitchen. Because if you start cooking, if you start feeding your people real game, you become dangerous. The rap platform ain't just a stage, it's a weapon. When I say this ain't a contest, I mean this is a classroom disguised as a cipher. We're building a system where tools come before trophies. You're gonna get the mic, but we gonna teach you what to say. You're gonna get the beat, but we gonna show you how to own your masters. We teaching credit, we teaching mindset, we teaching independence. Because freedom without structure ain't freedom. It's just chaos with nicer shoes. Uncle Mike's truth bomb. Red pill? Cool. But that ain't where the journey ends, it's where it begins. You need a wrench for the mental blocks. You need pliers for your trauma. You need a saw to cut off dead weight and a drill to carve out your lane. This world got you in a house they built. It's time you build your own. And guess what? We got the blueprints. Part 18, they don't want us building. That's why they keep us rapping. See? They cool with us rapping. They love it when we rhyme. They love it when we cuss, flex, diss each other, talk about chains and death. But the moment we start building, owning, teaching, the volume gets cut. Keep them entertained. The powers that be don't fear your lyrics. They fear your blueprints. They don't care how many punchlines you got. But if you drop a line that helps somebody escape the trap, now you're a threat. That's why they flooded the game with 360 deals, why they put TikTok dances over technique and turned bars into branding deals. Because once you start using that mic like a weapon, they don't just shadow ban your video, they shadow ban your whole spirit. The real rap is hidden. The realest rappers out here, you probably never heard of them. They in basements and back rooms, spitting truth that'll melt the chains off your ankles. But their videos only get 400 views. Why? Because the algorithm was never neutral. It's programmed to amplify what keeps us blind and silence what sets us free. What they really afraid of. They ain't scared of Uncle Mike talking about the game. They scared of Uncle Mike building a stage where you can talk your truth. Where young rappers from Ghana to Gary, Indiana get heard without a cosign. Where you don't have to sell your soul to go viral. Where the comments ain't full of bots and hate, but real people saying, yo, that line changed my life. They scared of a rap movement that teaches ownership. They scared of a mic that don't just echo, it educates. Let's flip the script. So nah, this ain't just about hot verses. This ain't about who got the best freestyle or the hardest beat. This about who got the blueprint. This about who gonna build a platform that don't need permission to change lives. Because the future, it don't belong to who spits the hardest. It belongs to who builds the smartest. Uncle Mike's sermon, rapping is cool, but building, that's revolution. You can't eat off bars unless you learn to package your pain. You can't break out the system unless you learn to build your own. They'll keep handing you microphones, but never teach you what to say. It's time we change that. One beat, one bar, one blueprint at a time. Part 19. Every label is a bank, and every rapper in debt. Let me put y'all on game. These record labels, they not your savior. They not your launch pad. They not your dream come true. They banks in disguise. They disguise. But they not the kind that build you a house or help you buy your mama that car. Nah. They the kind that lend you your own chains and charge interest when you try to take them off. The advance is a loan, not a blessing. You know that $100,000 advance they throw at you like candy? That ain't a gift, fam. That's debt. They hand it to you wrapped in hype. Go celebrate, you made it. But in fine print, they just gave you a loan with strings so tight, it'll choke the creativity right out of your chest. Studio time, that's on you. Videos coming out your budget, tour bus, yours too. And when your streams don't recoup fast enough, now you owe. You're not signed. Your collateral. See, what the labels do is simple. They bet on your talent, like Vegas puts money on a horse. But here's the twist. They own the horse. Your voice, your beats, your face, they own all of it under that deal. And what they don't tell you, if you blow up too fast and get smart, they'll shelve your project just to slow you down. Why? Because the moment you start thinking for yourself, you become a liability, not an asset. They don't want you free. You ever ask yourself why most label contracts are 3 albums long minimum? Because they want to lock your growth. That first project, they want it hot enough to recoup, but not so powerful it makes you independent. Second project, they fill your calendar with press runs and fake drama to keep you busy, but broke. By the time that third one comes, you're tired, jaded, and lost in legal hell. They've drained you. Emotionally, financially, spiritually. Own or be owned. Independent artists, listen close. When you own your music, you ain't gotta ask permission to be great. You set the release date. You keep the masters. You decide if your song gets synced to a movie or played on a TV show. That's power. Labels sell dreams, but freedom, you gotta build that yourself. That's why Uncle Mike built this platform. So rappers don't just go viral, they go vertical. They rise up, not get locked in. Uncle Mike's truth bomb. Your music is worth more than your advance. Your brand is worth more than your buzz. And your future is worth more than a seat at their table. Forget the table. Build your own damn kitchen. Part 20. Dead rappers get better promotion. Let me whisper you a truth. They don't want loud. Rappers become more valuable dead than alive. Let that marinate. Let that cut deep. Because I ain't say that for shock value. I said it because it's written in the contracts and etched in the silence that follows every artist's funeral. The truth in black ink. When you gone, you ain't arguing about royalties. You ain't refusing tour dates. You ain't demanding creative control. You just rest. In the label, they go to work. They release the lost album. They drop the deluxe version. They leak the unreleased verses with some weirdo feature nobody asked for. In every single stream, t-shirt, documentary, and mural, profits go to the label, not to mama, not to the block you fed, not to the child you left behind, to the machine. Death as a marketing plan. They won't say it outright, but I'ma say it for them. They plan for your death. How else you explain the instant memorial rollouts? The candles still lit while merch links go live. You think they grieving? Nah, they activating the campaign. Because when a rapper dies, streams shoot up 2,000%. Articles flood timelines. New fans show up who ain't never heard a bar. And the ones who love you, they replay the hits trying to feel you again. That's cash. That's leverage. That's exploitation. Tupac, XXXTentacion, Pop Smoke, Juice WRLD, King Von, different eras. Same playbook. Unfinished albums get finished by strangers. Legacy gets rewritten in boardrooms. And the music never leaves the label's hands. Ask yourself, if your best bars drop after your death, who really owns your voice? You or the suits you trusted with your catalog? They don't mourn, they monetize. You ever notice how the industry only tells you to give artists their flowers after they're gone? That's because flowers are cheaper than freedom. While you're alive, they minimize you. But the moment you're gone, you're legendary, you're timeless, you're profitable. Because dead men don't negotiate. So what's the solution? Ownership. That's why I built this. So you don't need a label's green light. So your death ain't more valuable than your life. So your bars get heard now. Live while your heart still beats. Uncle Mike ain't here for posthumous praise. I'm here for present power. If you a rapper reading this or a fan, understand this war ain't just about music. It's about who writes your legacy. You or them. Part 21. The final weapon ain't guns. It's silence. They always show you the bullet. They show you the smoke. They show you the chalk outline in the blood-soaked hoodie. But the real weapon ain't metal, ain't loud, ain't quick. It's silence. The kind that kills dreams slow. The kind that buries truth under corporate carpet. The kind that erases a whole voice from history without firing a single shot. Shh. That's how they win. You don't gotta be assassinated to be erased. You just gotta be ignored. Look around. How many legends' names you never heard? How many artists were on the cusp but disappeared after creative differences? How many rappers you remember being fired, but then they vanished like smoke? They didn't fall off. They got shut down. Labels shelved their projects. Platforms shadow banned their content. Blogs stopped writing. Playlists stopped spinning. Not because they weren't hot, but because they weren't controllable. Be humble or be quiet. They say be humble, but what they really mean is be silent. Don't question the contracts. Don't ask about where the money at. Don't talk about independence. Don't say the word masters. Speak when spoken to. Smile for the camera. Sign the deal. And if you don't, you ain't trending no more. You ain't getting booked. You ain't getting interviews. You getting ghosted by the game you helped build. Why Uncle Mike stay talking? See, I'm allergic to that silence. That's why I'm on here with my mic hot and my soul wide open. That's why I talk loud for the artists they ignore. For the kid in Nigeria dropping bars in a tin roof booth. For the sister in Detroit spitting truth from a twin mattress. For the brother in the Bronx with the hottest 16 but no cosign. I'm not here to be another quiet casualty. I'm here to make noise, and I want you to make noise too. This platform is a speaker. This ain't no rap contest anymore. This is rebellion. Every beat uploaded, every verse submitted, every live stream reaction. That's war against the silence. That's us turning up the volume on the voices they tried to mute. So when I say upload your track, I'm not just saying, let me hear you. I'm saying, let the world hear you before the industry buries you beneath another TikTok trend. Final words for the quiet killers, to the execs in glass towers, to the platforms playing algorithms like God, to the fake fans who only show up after the funeral. We see you, and we ain't quiet no more.